hours after watching their state championship hopes dashed, New Trier and Centralia have just one thought in mind: ending their season with a win. The Trevians and the Orphans for third place at state. Next. Welcome to Carver Arena in downtown Peoria. The championship fever is building here. But first, the third place game, and we've said it before, it's easy to get up for the state championship game, but how tough is it on teams to come back just hours after they've lost? And they've worked all summer, all fall, all winter to get to this point. They lost their chance at a state championship, but how tough is it to come back and then get up for this third place game, their second game of the day? We will find out. It's New Trier taking on the Centralia Orphans. And here for the call of tonight's third place action, Tom Stocker and Bill Hitt. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Lee. Indeed, the roller coaster of emotions takes another spin here for both of these teams, whose hopes for a state championship were dashed just hours ago. And we'll go to an ex-coach here in Bill Hitt. How do you get these teams up so quickly after a crushing defeat?
I think that's very difficult to do, Tom, and I think both of them have slightly different approaches. Centralia played a very good game in the semifinal and just couldn't quite make a basket when they needed to, but they had to feel like they gave it their all and that they played well. On the other hand, I think Rick Malnati and the New Trier people feel like they can do better. They want to come back and prove something to the audience here and to themselves.
Let's take a look and see how these two teams got to this consolation game. First of all, for the Orphans of Centralia, with a sectional final victory over Belleville West, a 30-point victory over the Flyers of East St. Louis, and the super sectional in the quarterfinals yesterday, a 51-37 win over Moline, and then a crushing loss, losing by 4 to Springfield Lamphere in today's second semifinal game. For New Trier, a sectional final victory over Niles Notre Dame, 67-56. The stunning super sectional victory over Proviso East at the United Center. Then yesterday, the win over conference rival Highland Park. But then again, the very tough loss of a ball game that Westinghouse opened up big in the third quarter, losing 63-46. For Centralia, they were able to hang in with a very tough, very big, very gifted physically Lamphere Ball Club because of their strong inside game. And John Smith, of course, anchors the inside game for Centralia.
You know, a lot of people have paid attention to Matt Shaw, the sophomore, but John Smith has done a great job for Coach Moss and Centralia, averaging 17 points a game in this tournament, or had 17 points earlier. He also had some big defensive stops.
Meanwhile, for New Trier, one thing that Coach Rick Malnati knows, that if he falls far behind, you got instant offense there from the outside in Josh Goodman.
Yeah, Josh Goodman today, or in the earlier semifinal game, hit those 5 straight threes, brought them back into the ball game. He's been a steady player throughout the year for Rick Malnati.
These two ball clubs very well coached by Rick Moss and Rick Malnati. Take a look, first of all, now in the keys of the game for the Centralia Orphans.
Well, I think the strength for them all year has been their inside game, and they're going to look to do that. They want to score inside often and early. For them, as for anyone playing New Trier, they have to take away the perimeter scoring. And I think playing that second semifinal game, one of the keys for them will be their bench play. They're going to have to look to get some important minutes off the bench.
For New Trier, number one thing they've got to do, obviously, is be tough inside defensively.
Right. They give up some inches to a lot of teams. They have to defend the paint. They're going to look to score, and they're going to need to score in transition. And I think just for confidence, they're going to need to get some threes early.
What are the challenges are going to be for Rick Moss for this, especially the Centralia Ball Club, to have been in a ball game where folks, with a minute to go, they were down by 2, and they had a chance to tie it up with 2 seconds to go. It's a challenge for them.
Yeah, I think that's where the coach just talks about pride. He talks about what you have to do to be an athlete, and I think they just kind of reach inside of themselves.
All right, that sets the stage. Coming up, we'll meet both teams here in this consolation game. But first of all, we're going to hear now from your local sponsors. the game for third place in the state, Centralia and New Trier at Carver Arena in Peoria. Let's meet both these teams and go to stadium announcer Paul Herzog.
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association of the City of Peoria, welcome to the site of America's original March Madness as we present your third place game today, featuring the Trevians of Winnetka, New Trier, and the Orphans of Centralia. Let's meet the starting lineups. For Centralia, at a forward, a 6'1" senior, number 11, Caleb Edson. At a forward for New Trier, a 6'4" senior, 40, Ted Rosinski. The other forward for the Orphans, a 6'6" sophomore, 34, Matt Shaw. The center for the Trevians, a 6'2" senior, number 50, Bob Anderson. At center for Centralia, a 6'6" senior, 54, John Smith. One of three guards for New Trier, a 6'3" senior, 3, Josh Goodman. At a guard for the Orphans, a 6'2" senior, number 4, Lance Markham. And a guard for the Trevians, a 6'2" senior, 23, James Romey. The other guard for Centralia, a 5'10" senior, number 10, Brian Dinkelman. The other guard for the Trevians, a 6'1" junior, 33, Brent Sortel. Head coach of Centralia in his 29th season.
The coaches in this game. First of all, for Centralia, Rick Moss, finishing up his 8th year at the helm of the Orphans. 208 victories so far this year. He's also been an assistant at the Big Ten level at the University of Iowa. His counterpart in this game, Rick Malnati, finishing his 6th year at the helm of the Trevians. This is his second Elite Eight team, 137 victories, looking for number 138 here in this one. The battle for third place, and this one, both teams will take home a trophy. We're going to have our ceremonial bringing out of the first basketball, and Larry Clore, president of Multi-Ad Services, who does a great job year in, year out printing the game program sold at all the IHSA championship venues. And what a great job, what a great partner they've been for the IHSA. When you talk about this third place game, Bill, you know, you and I have been talking about how do you get them up. Let's take a look at the officials. Craig Jeffries, Ronnie Jones, and Stanley Mitchell. How do you get these guys up? How do you get them emotionally? And yet we forget how little it takes to get a little competition going at the local playground. You know, you can make any game as competitive as you want to make it.
You know, I couldn't agree with you more. I think probably what the coaches said is, you know, let's go out and have fun, but let's go out and win this game. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Competition is competition.
Matt Shaw for Centralia against Ted Rosinski. The Orphans win the opening 10. New Trier setting up in a man-to-man defense at the outset. Ryan Dinkelman taking it to the corner. Now trying to bring it back out. Caleb Edson down in the corner. Dinkelman from the corner. The shot rims. Offensive rebound. Lance Markham. He can't bank it in. And another offensive rebound. Shaw got it, and he drew the foul. Lineups again in this contest for Centralia. Edson and Shaw at the forward, Smith at the pivot, and Markham and Dinkelman at the guards. Rosinski, Anderson in the 3-guard front, Goodman, Romey, and Sortel. And they're able to throw it all the way to the backcourt without violation there as Dinkelman works it around, finds Caleb Edson. Centralia with the first possession of this basketball game. One of the legendary programs looking for victory. We're number 1,919 in school history. Knocked away out of bounds off the hands of Romey.
First two possessions, we've seen Centralia working hard to bring that ball inside. And again, the strength of Centralia with the rebounding.
We truly have a north-south battle here. Winnetka from the North Shore suburbs of Chicago, Centralia, just off Interstate 57 in southern Illinois. And Lance Markham hitting our first points of the basketball game, hitting the tray, and a 3-0 lead for Centralia.
See Centralia just going out a little bit further to pick up defensively. They're often they'll play inside a little bit more.
Offensive rebound, driving the baseline. James Romey gets it in the lane. The shot for Anderson blocked from behind, and here comes Centralia's Ryan Dinkelman. Lance Markham, who's been their MVP, their go-to guy who has found a way to make the big play time and time again for Centralia. Now around the corner, Dinkelman. He finds Smith underneath. He got position, couldn't get it in off the glass. Rebound Anderson, yanked away from him, picked up by Shaw. Shaw with the short jumper, and he gets the kind roll.
2 of their first 3 possessions, they got at least 2 shots at the basket. They, New Trier's just got to get bodies on them. Those guys are strong. You have to maintain the box out.
In the front court, Josh Goodman. Single-handedly brought them back. He's trying his first 3 of this game after going 5 for 10 in the semifinal game, and it will be Centralia basketball. And coming in off the bench for Centralia, Anthony Jones here at Carver Arena. He's come off the bench to provide 23 points in the contest for Centralia, and he brings it into the front court. Stolen away by Rosinski. Ahead to Romey. Romey pulls up, and the shot spins out. Rosinski on the offensive boards, and he scores.
Nice defensive play, good break.
Rosinski really struggled. He scored the first 2 points in the game for New Trier. Didn't score again until late in the third quarter in that contest. Going inside, John Smith working the baseline, and he draws the foul, and Bob Anderson picks up the foul.
It's a little bit of a collision with 2 real big guys. A nice strong move to the basket by Smith.
Just tuned in, this is the game for third place, the consolation game in the AA State Boys Basketball Tournament, America's original March Madness. Anderson using the rim nicely and getting his first point of the basketball game. A 69% free throw shooter. The 6'2" senior is heading out of the game is Matt Shaw, and checking in now is Jamal Palmer, who can really provide a defensive spark off the bench for Centralia. And the second one cleanly into the net for Anderson, John Smith. They clear it ahead to Romey. Centralia and a man around sitting back in the zone, looks like right now. It'll be a bit of a matchup zone, just a little bit into the corner. Goes Brett Sortle, and he double dribble with the basketball and turns it over. Not the sharp start, I think, that Rick Malnati's looking for from New Trier.
No, they're a little bit flat, and they're going to have to play through that. This is a very quick Centralia backcourt. When Rick Moss goes to his Palmer brothers and Anthony Jones, they really increase the tempo and the pressure in the backcourt.
Centralia with an early 5-point lead, 3 minutes into the opening quarter.
Okay,
Palmer decides to try the right side. Gets it down low, and we got a push from behind called on New Trier's Thomas Purcell. This broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
The unexpected will happen.
Hello, thank you for calling Country.
Hello? Who's this?
You'll actually talk to a real
I
person.
didn't think you'd answer this quickly.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
This is my country.
Take a look at the matchup of our two cities. Centralia down in southern Illinois, a population of 16,000 down in Marion County, an enrollment of 1,100 out of the South 7 Conference. New Trier up in Winnetka with a population of just over 12,000. And out of the Central Suburban Conference, look at the cheerleaders from down in Centralia. They've enjoyed a whale of a tournament. New Trier trailing early 7-2. And you can just feel that right now there isn't even right now the electricity in the building that we've experienced the last day and a half.
No, but one thing, the longer this game goes on, the more intense it'll become. The closer the score, you'll see that kind of aggressiveness.
Lead being grabbed by Markham off the inbounds play. And Centralia works it in the action in with a 7-2 lead. Anthony Jones. Been tough to find him some playing time. He's going to be looked upon as one of the senior leaders for the Centralia team next year. Down going to the baseline. Shaw bounced it out of bounds, looks like, and called out of bounds. It will go to New Trier. Goodman comes out for New Trier. And they bring in Chris Busey. Here's Rosinski. A hop stop, and the shot rims out on the baseline. Anthony Jones with the rebound. Jones goes all the way inside, lays it in and out, no good. And the rebound goes to New Trier's James Romey.
New Trier's just had trouble hitting shots that they normally make. A lot of roll-ins, roll-outs.
Rosinski getting the three. Came into this tournament with 26 three-pointers on the year, and Rosinski didn't see enough of those in the semifinal game. He's already got 5 in this contest. Took him almost to the fourth quarter to get that many in the semifinal game. The shot comes up short for Palmer, and the rebound to James Romey. 7-5 lead. And as New Trier brings the ball down, a foul called out on the perimeter. And Centralia, the foul called on Jason Palmer, the 5'10 senior. Take a look at their scoring average so far this year. Centralia averaging nearly 64 points a ball game. And look at the way Centralia shoots it from outside the arc. 42%. Rebounds about even for the two schools in this consolation game. And a holding foul down low. And it looked like it was Anthony Jones trying to make the steal, and instead came away with the foul, his first. Quickly, 3 team fouls in the contest for Centralia.
You know, one of the things that New Trier has done a nice job of throughout the year is getting quick scores off of inbounds plays.
John Smith came back into the Centralia lineup with that whistle 3.5 minutes ago in the opening quarter. The turnaround jumper, nothing but the bottom of the net for James Romey. Romey scoring 10 points a game, but was held to only 3 in the semifinal loss. From the corner, Caleb Edson. It rims from the corner, and undercutting in the battle for the rebound was James Romey, who picked up the foul.
You know, it's a bad break for James Romey, but because he did what he needed to do. He needed to get a body on and move out. Obviously, just came underneath him, but you know, when you're giving up that many pounds, you have to make sure you keep your body on him.
Didn't give him quite enough room for the defender, for the ball carrier to land. You got to give him that position. Ryan Dinkelman works it around the horn. Now Markham gets the entry passed in to Shaw. Nice turn inside move. He scores. He's fouled, and they'll go to the line for the old-fashioned three-point play.
Just a real strong muscle move to the basket. Gets the defender on his back. You can see how he leans in. He's going to lean in and just turn quickly to the basket. Very well executed.
Busey got the foul. Lewis Powell comes in now for New Trier, and Nick Nikitas makes his first appearance as Rosinski goes out along with Mike Duda. And I like what Rick Malnati is doing. he is using this game for some of the players who hadn't seen as much playing time, getting them in early in the action. There's the free throw. Good for Brian Dinkelman, and the proud mom looks onward.
You know, I agree with you, and I think what he's doing is just trying to make points to everyone that he's taught them how to play. Doesn't matter what the venue is.
Purcell getting the pass, and he's hammered going to the hoop, and looks like John Smith picked up the foul. Nope, it's going to be on Dinkelman instead. Already the fouls mounting up. 3 team fouls for Centralia, 5 in this game for New Trier, and at the free throw line is Chris Busey. And Busey makes the free throw. Busey, a 6'2" junior. A chance here to get one of his seniors of next year a little experience.
Yeah, I think that's part of Rick's thinking, but you know, it's also just balancing out a whole year's worth of work and effort and practice.
And using it much the same way that a football coach might use a bowl game, for example.
Right.
Both free throws in there for Busey. And it's a 10-9 Centralia lead. They led by as many as 5 early in this contest, but now the lead's whittled down to 1. Out on the high post, Smith gets it back to Dinkelman. Dinkelman described as the team cut-up, the team clown for the Centralia Ball Club. Lance Markham, the deep 3, top of the key. Nothing but the bottom of the net once again. Markham, the second 3. 13-9 is the lead from the wing, and that's Dan Larkin, the 6'4" junior, getting his first 2.
Yeah, they allowed the ball to get into the paint too quickly. Nice dish off, open for a shot. Had a good look at the basket.
Just over 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Smith getting it down, draws a double team, draws a lot of attention. The ball's tied up. It's a held ball. The alternate possession arrow gives it to the Trevians.
We see Centralia coming out. Both teams want these kids to play hard, and both coaches, and see a little bit more up-tempo, a little more pressure from Centralia.
Lewis Powell goes all the way. Nobody stopped him, and he went right to the hoop. Not bad for the 5'9" senior, who took it all the way to the glass for his first 2. We go under 2 minutes, and a New Trier foul. As that one going to go to Nick Nikitas, who picks up his first. Shaw comes back in the Centralia lineup, and Dan Larkin heads for the orphan bench across the way. And that one off the hand of Dinkelman, and he thought he could go to the backcourt and get it. He couldn't. Over and back violation, and a turnover gives the ball to New Trier, and Mike Duda will trigger it inbounds. Mike Duda, the 6'3" senior, over on the sidelines, where he finds Larkin out at the point. Lewis Powell picks up his dribble and finds Terry Coughlin, who's in the lineup for the first time for New Trier. For Powell going to the baseline, but at his pocket pick, stolen away by Dinkelman. Pushed it up ahead to Markham, but he was too close to the sideline. It's over the sideline, in fact, and he turns it over.
I think he feels a little automatic, though. He put that ball up after the whistle and put it in.
For New Trier, Kevin Hearn, a 5'11" junior, now checks into the lineup for the first time. And they got Rick Malnati going deep into his bench in this consolation game. A minute and a half to go in the first quarter in the battle for third place. Both the teams will take home a trophy. One team will come home, unfortunately, with 2 losses on this final day of the basketball season. The shot for Larkin short, and Shaw comes up with the rebound. Markham steps, gets open, shoots, and scores. 3 3-pointers for Lance Markham.
Yeah, 4 if you count the one after the whistle, Tom. I think he's feeling it right now.
Under a minute for the first quarter. Larkin, make that Nikitas, I should say. Shot rim short. Nice save by Duda as he got it in to Kevin Hearn. Driving in Nikitas. Collision, and it's going to be a blocking foul on Dinkelman. That one was close.
That's a tough call, but you know what? I think it's a good call. I don't think he got in front of the driver. I think there was a bump. Here he comes hard. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he got there. I think as a coach, those are one of the hardest calls for officials to make, the difference between a charge and a block.
Nikitas makes the first free throw, an 81% foul shooter on the year. As for New Trier, checking in now is Peter Dykstra, a 6'5", 200-pound junior, replacing Dan Larkin. Nikitas led New Trier with 15 points in their win over Thornwood, one of the suburban powers, back in January. Free throw is good. It's a 16-15 lead for Centralia with 42 seconds left to go. Rosinski has checked back into the New Trier lineup. And into the front court, here's Anthony Jones. Nice distribution to the corner. Markham steps open. He feels it. Oh, does he feel it? Oh, does he feel it?
You know, when you're a shooter and that first one goes down, it just does something to your mind. And obviously, Markham's in his zone right now.
Those shooters get in those kind of zones. A zone unknown to most of us. Rosinski. Over, it goes to Lewis Powell. Now on the wing, Duda, the long jumper, at the buzzer, won't go, and we've reached the end of the first quarter. After one quarter, New Trier came on late and has taken a 15-13 lead. We'll be back after these words from your local stations.
Centralia, a 4-point lead here in the second quarter as we get ready to start. One of the people behind the scenes that helps make March Madness click here in Peoria. One of the 2,000 volunteers that make these two weekends possible here, Larry Strands, Limestone Larry Strands. He's one of the hosts. And what do you do as a host? You kind of take care of the teams all weekend.
Just as their official duties and their unofficial duties, get the cheerleaders to the mall. Everything that makes them make their stay in Peoria a nice time.
Now let's move over here so we don't by a layup. You're a good luck charm, though. Tell me about that. How many state titles do you have as host?
I have 4, 2 Class A, 2 Class A and 2 AA. So, and this will be my either 3rd or 4th place trophy. I had a 3rd place last year with Morgan Park.
All right, Limestone Larry Strands is good luck for the teams. In fact, the Pleasant Plains coach, Cliff Cameron, last week asked for this guy, and you know what? He won a state championship. Second time Larry helped him to a state championship. Back to you.
All righty, this tournament couldn't run if the cheerleaders couldn't get to the ball. I promise you. Back to action, New Trier. Nice dish down inside. The shot from Anderson, blocked from behind. Battling the offensive boards, Romy, but it's taken away by Anthony Jones. Jones pulls up down low. Shot off the glass, too strong. And now we're getting end-to-end action here with Centralia and New Trier. Rosinski kicks it off on the wing. James Romy. No, but an offensive rebound to Josh Goodman. He's tied up by Markham. He'll get a held ball. Take a look at the tournament histories for Centralia. 23rd appearance in the state finals with 3. Centralia 4-point lead, and here you go. All the off-season work, the preseason drills in October. You start in late November, and it seems like sometimes the season just flies by and it's down to just 16 minutes remaining.
You know what you say as a coach, we want to play on the last day of the season, and we want to win our last game. I usually mean the championship game, but I think third place would be something that these guys would appreciate.
Matt Shaw couldn't get it in over the rim, and they dive for the loose ball, and we wind up with a held ball. And it'll be alternating possession to New Trier. It's good to see the kids hit the deck in this consolation game.
You know, I think Rick Malnati in that little halftime conversation said exactly correctly. They want to have fun, but they want to win the game, and they want to do it in the context of their team.
Look at Rosinski going all the way, but off the glass a bit too strong, and here comes Centralia and Brian Dinkelman. Markham, deadly from outside the arc. Lobs it down inside, and getting tied up is Smith. Hey, it goes in, and he'll go to the line.
I think that's just an example of how strong John Smith is. Bob Anderson, 210 pounds, put a body on him, did everything but grab his arm. He was able to get his arms up and get that ball in for a possible three-point shot.
Ironically, Centralia was 4 of 9 inside the arc, while there were 6 of 9 outside the arc in the first half, as Smith now has 5 points, the 6'6" senior. And that's a 7-point Centralia lead, but hurrying down court is Brett Sortle. In the lane, the shot off the rim for Anderson, and a foul in the battle for the rebound. And it's going to go to Lance Markham.
Nice putback by Josh Goodman. He got one hand on the ball, was able to control it and get it back up on the glass.
So Goodman going to the line to look for the three-point play. Rims up, and the rebound to Matt Shaw. Lance Markham quickly guarded over there tightly by Romy. Markham looking for an outlet, finds Shaw. The turnarounder spins in nicely, and the clock is stopped at 7:04. Time has stood still here at Bradley's Carver Arena. There it goes. Sometimes you got to wake up those mices inside there, you know.
They stop running.
Yeah, they stop running on the wheel. The power of the thing. It's out of bounds, and it'll still be New Trier basketball with 6:53 or thereabouts remaining. Rosinski getting it out front. Goodman now finds Romy, and over on the wing, Rosinski nails the three. Ted Rosinski getting his third three of the game. He's got 11. Makes it a 4-point ball game from the baseline. Nice silky shot for Caleb Benson, getting his first 2. And he's playing with a special purpose, losing his grandfather, who was a big booster of this program, losing his father who passed away, grandfather who passed away right before the start of the season. From the wing, Goodman, who was deadly in the semifinal game but missed that tray. And coming the other way is the deadly marksman himself, Lance Markham. Now they let John Smith open. Say, go ahead and shoot it, big boy. He decides to give it off to the guard.
I think what you see in this game is just a little bit more space for the shooters. There's just not quite as much defensive intensity. So you're going to see some of those guys get some good looks at the basket.
Oh, nice move and a nice turnaround jumper for Caleb Benson.
Came off a little low screen there and got the ball in the paint. That made a nice spin move to the basket. There he goes. See him going up strong, uses the glass nicely. That can be a lost art, using the glass in any level of basketball.
Caleb Benson began the year as a sixth man and really developed a reputation as being one of Southern Illinois' best 6 men off the bench, but he's been in the starting lineup now the last 2+ games. Rebound is off the hands of Shaw, and it's going to go to New Trier. Centralia leads by 8 with 5:48 remaining. And among the substitutions, Jason Palmer, you see on your screen, for Centralia. Long Rosinski pass, tracked down by Nikitas. Did he call time and time? No, they said he traveled before he could call time. Well, not surprising that Rosinski's able to come up with a big baseball pass, given his dad, a former professional player in the Chicago Cubs organization.
You know, Rick Malnati couldn't quite get up fast enough to get a timeout before he shuffled his feet.
Anthony Jones closely guarded there by Romy. They get it to Shaw along the lane. Kicks it back to Dinkelman. Top of the key. Jones. Yes. Anthony Jones, a 47% three-point shooter, getting his first of this game. And Centralia now an 11-point lead at 47-36. Rosinski over on the wing to Nikitas. Nikitas gets himself open and drains the three. He's got 7 and a 30-second timeout called by the Trevians. Nikitas, who came off the bench with 6 points and 2 assists against Highland Park, had 11 points against Proviso East, hitting that three-pointer, and pulls New Trier now within 8. New Trier this year scoring as many as 89 points in a win over Elmwood Park, and in what's always been a big rivalry against the Wildcats of Evanston, held to 44 points. And the highs and lows for Centralia, they scored 82 against Alton. And you talk about another rivalry, held to 32 by Mount Vernon. Friday nights are a special night across the state of Illinois, but especially in the southern part down there, where you can always tell where the gym is at the school. It's the biggest building.
There are wonderful rivalries down there.
Rosinski, the basket waved off, and Shaw thought he drew the charge. Instead, Shaw gets the blocking foul.
Yeah, called it before the shot, so they waved out the basket.
You know, as I many times drive my way up through Illinois on Friday nights, as Nikitas hits the shot, you can just tune along the radio dial and listen to game after game after game, and it's fun.
And you know, Tom, all those kids are thinking one day they're going to get to play on this gym in this tournament.
The holy grail of boys and girls basketball in the state of Illinois. Staying with it strongly, John Smith on the offensive boards. He's now got 7 and an 8-point lead for Centralia.
You know, that is such a strength for Centralia. Those two big guys in the middle, they're so powerful. They're hard to move off the block.
Coughlin moves inside and hits the jumper. Gary Coughlin hitting his first 2 of the contest.
Looks like New Trier is just really working hard to try to pick up the tempo a little bit.
Because it looked for a moment there like the spark just wasn't there. And all of a sudden now the intensity's picked up. There is Jason Palmer. Hits it back out to Dinkelman. And now way out front to Anthony Jones. Under 4 minutes now for the third quarter. Jones takes it down to the baseline, and just a little bit of a graze and a blocking foul called on Terry Coughlin.
Anthony Jones has played well in this tournament. You know, it's hard for a kid to come off the bench and look to be a scorer, but he's done that.
We've got a timeout on the floor at Carver Arena as Centralia leads by 6. We'll be back after these words from your local station. Thanks to the great folks over at Old Chicago here in downtown Peoria, providing some great food for our production crew that puts in long hours, and they burn up a lot of calories, and the folks from Old Chicago has been great. Great pizzas, pasta, and more. When you got to fly, you can get some Old Chicago to go. Great place to watch the IHSA tournaments and NCAA games downtown Old Chicago here in Peoria. Tom Stocker, Bill Hitt with you as we're in third quarter action. Game for third place. Centralia with a basketball and a 6-point lead. Jones out front. Entry pass into Shaw. Shaw got the shot to go and drew the foul to boot.
You know, he's really, really impressive for a sophomore. He plays with such poise, uses his strength wisely. Look at that battle down on the block, and he just strong move in, gets the ball up on the glass. Excellently done.
Really did well against the 6'2 senior Bob Anderson. He was going up against some experience down there on the block, and the free throw is good. Shaw with 13 points in the contest, and a steal by Centralia. Jones skips it over the top, broken up nicely by Terry Coughlin of New Trier. Ahead to Nikitas. Nikitas and a reach-in foul called on Jason Palmer.
See if they call that on a pass or on a shot. He left his feet.
Gonna put him in the free throw line, it looks like. Give him 2. 3.5 minutes remaining. New Trier now trying to make up a 9-point deficit. Nikitas at the line, and he makes the first. He's now in double figures with 10 points. Came into the tournament averaging just under 7 points a ball game. Larkin has checked in along with James Romy, and Mike Duda's now come in. Meanwhile, for Centralia, Caleb Edson comes back in. Caleb Edson almost didn't come out for the Centralia team. I think Rick Moss was happy he did.
He's been a real important part of their team this year.
Nikitas. The free throw is good. He's now got 11, and he'll head to the bench as Josh Goodman checks in.
Quick trap on the impact.
Boy, they broke it in a hurry too, Bill. Take it inside. Caleb Edson dishes down low. The shot forced up by Smith off balance. No call, and here comes New Trier. James Romy. A little too deep for Larkin, but he finds Romy open on the baseline, and he nails the jumper. He's got 9, his first points of the second half. And as Palmer raced into the front court, racing alongside him and getting the reach-in foul was James Romy, his second.
What they're trying to do is get the ball to be inbounded in one of the corners, the closest corner to the ball, then trap it real quickly, see if they can force a turnover.
3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Centralia right now with the ball and a 5-point lead. Palmer skips it over now as Edson looks down low for Shaw. But now instead finds Markham. Quickly covering him, Larkin. Or they're quickly getting a defender every time Markham touches the basketball. Edson lost it for a moment. Finds Shaw and a reach around by Goodman, who gets the foul. Right now, the way Centralia is running the offense and when they're getting the entry passes, that's initiating the contact and forcing New Trier to have to commit the foul.
Absolutely. What you try to do when you're down there on the block, on the post, you try to get the man to pick a side and then keep him there, and then your guard tries to bring the ball to the opposite hand.
Markham in the corner, defended by Duda. Down to Shaw. Twist inside, but the shot rims across. The follow by Smith, no. Put up again by Shaw. No, they're going to wave it off. And Shaw will go to the free throw line. The foul called on Rosinski. He picks up his second personal.
You know, it's kind of interesting when you watch a game, some coaches will ask you their postman to throw a high hand and they'll bring the ball high. Other coaches like Rick Moss want a bounce pass to the post so that the offensive player can grab it and then go straight up to the basket. They do a wonderful job of getting that ball in on a bounce pass to these big guys.
Shaw now with 17 points as he missed the second free throw. 53-47. Over on the wing, Coughlin threw it behind Duda, who was able to track it down. In the paint, Romy over to Rosinski. The iron unkind, and somebody's over the back in the battle for the rebound. Nope, that's going to be a board crashing foul called on Centralia's Jamal Palmer. Not sure on that one, but that's going to give New Trier the basketball as Brian Dinkelman checks back into the Centralia lineup. They get an inbound to Coughlin. In the corner to Romy. Romy stops, tried to hit the floater. Shaw got a hand in his face, and somebody may have gotten him with the body as well. It was not a foul in the act of shooting, though. Put it out of bounds, and the foul charged on Caleb Edson, who gets his first. New Trier trailing by 6. They haven't led since the second quarter. Rosinski now into the corner. Coughlin. That one won't go for him, and the rebound tracked down by Big John Smith of Centralia. Brian Dinkelman weaving his way through traffic. Finds Caleb Edson. He had a lane to the hoop, and he goes and spins it in good.
That ball did not go in the basket. Coach Malnati had a substitute coming in. They need to have the defender come over to try to draw a charge on that, and he just stood flat-footed.
And again, Smith tracks down another rebound for Centralia. New Trier had the rebounding edge at halftime. And walking with the ball as Dinkelman was trying to pick it up, stop, and pass it off at the same time. Couldn't do it all at once. In fact, right now they're rebounding in this ball game 21-16. The edge still in the contest for the New Trier Trevians.
It does surprise me a little bit, but a couple of these possessions, there have been second shot attempts by New Trier, so a couple offensive rebounds.
Coughlin, his pass stolen by Markham. One man, Coughlin back. Contact, and it's going to be a blocking foul. Looks to be on Coughlin. And that'll put Lance Markham at the free throw line.
Boy, he anticipated that bounce pass real well. Headed down very strong to the basket, tries to make a little fake away. Just Coughlin had to slide underneath, obviously drawing that foul.
So Lance Markham hits the free throw, and Markham now with 22 points in the basketball game. He has hit 6 3-pointers in this contest. And he's 4 for 6 at the line so far in this game. Give him number 5, 23 points. Palmer comes in now for Centralia.
You know, New Trier obviously adjusted. I think those were his first points of this quarter.
Just over a minute to go in the third quarter. As Sortel finds a wide open James Romey, and Romey converts with a 3. He's got 12. That makes it a 7-point ball game. Jason Palmer, and that's going to be a charge.
Nice feed. He got himself over quickly, established position on the court. Jason Palmer just ran into him.
Palmer picked up his his third foul. 16 fouls now on Centralia in the half. 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Brett Sortel. Oh,
what a great backdoor look. Nicely executed.
You could see that all the way, and you saw Rosinski saw a wide open lane, and they connected beautifully. 5-point ball game. And with 12 seconds, Rick Moss is going to take a timeout and talk over how they want to go about this last shot here, as their lead has dwindled down to a 5-point margin. Well, you know, it's not too long before a lot of these multi-sport stars will hang up the uniforms and head off to the spring sports. Take a look here at some of the different titles. New Trier with the baseball state championship, a cross-country title back in '59, 8 championships in golf, along with multi-championships in gymnastics, 16 titles in swimming and diving and tennis. For the girls, badminton, 7 titles, 10 swimming and diving championships, 7 in tennis, and the debate team, 4 state championships as well at New Trier.
They have a wonderful history in the IHSA.
Centralia with 3 state basketball championships, as well as a Scholastic Bowl state championship. 5-point ball game, 6 seconds to go in the quarter. Dinkelman triple teamed, the pass deflected by Coughlin. He comes up with it. His pass blocked by Markham, but who couldn't do anything with it before the buzzer sounded, ending the third quarter. 3 quarters are in the book. Centralia leading 57-52, and back with the fourth quarter after we hear from one of our network sponsors.
Are you going to make that call?
Oh, right. When you call Country Insurance and Financial Services, the unexpected will happen.
Hello, thank you for calling Country.
Hello? Movement.
You'll actually talk to a real
I didn't
person.
think you'd answer as quickly.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
This is my country.
And welcome back to Carver Arena. 57-52, Centralia in the lead. Orphans is one of the most colorful nicknames in the state, and Bill Blair from Centralia is going to explain that to us. Where did the nickname originate?
The orphan team went to the Pontiac Holiday Tournament. Mr. Trout was up there, and he dressed the kids in a sundry type of uniforms, and a writer from one of the Chicago papers picked it up and said we look like a bunch of orphans. We went on to win the tournament. Mr. Trout liked the name and stuck with it. The Orphans of the Storm was a favorite movie of his also.
Really? And tell me about the Orphan Annies.
The Orphan Annies came into existence when the lady over here, Ann Murray, became our first and only girls coach, and because of her name Ann and because of just the way it worked, we picked up the Orphan Annie logo.
So Coach Trout bought uniforms secondhand, is that what you were telling me?
Yes, he liked to buy seconds. He was more concerned about how they played than the way they looked.
And that was the birth of the Orphans nickname. Back down to you.
Arthur Trout, one of the original outlet shoppers, I suppose. 57-52. Centralia with the ball and a 5-point lead. Centralia, America's winningest high school basketball program, closing in on 2,000 school victories. Shaw inside, and the ball raked away from behind, and he'll go to the line and shoot two. Take a look at the numbers through three quarters. Centralia shooting in the ball game 56%, and Nutria shooting 41%. Centralia still with the edge in the 3 points. Nutria with the rebound edge, and Nutria with 12 assists in the ball game. Five-point ball game as Dan Larkin checks in, replacing Bob Anderson for Nutria.
At 30 seconds to start this fourth quarter, Tom, was really excellent basketball. There was great defensive pressure by New Trier, good ball movement by Centralia. Did a nice job of pounding the ball inside to Matt Shaw, went strong to the basket and got fouled.
Matt Shaw hits the free throw, and he's going out in style in his final game at Centralia now with 18 points in the basketball game. Came into the tournament here at Peoria, averaging just under 15 points a game. The rebound controlled by James Romey, and New Trier's got it, trailing by 6. And away from the basketball, a screen, a holding foul called on New Trier, and we're going to walk the other way. New Trier over the limit. The foul is on Larkin, and it'll be one in bonus at the free throw line for the Orphans and Kevin Shaw. Who says it's just a third place game? You look at the intensity at coaches like Rick Malnati, Rick Moss. You'd have think it might have been the semifinal game earlier today.
I think what they're trying to get the kids to see is you're playing for pride and you're playing for purpose.
Matt Shaw, his mom looking on as Shaw now needing this free throw to hit 20. Give it to him. He's got 20 points in the ball game. The last game of the season is the one you think about in the offseason. The last game in your senior year is the one that probably sticks in your mind the most as you go on and live the rest of your life. For some, there'll be basketball in the future. For others, maybe the last time they ever officially suited up.
I think if you ask a lot of people, they'll remember that last game.
From the wing, Goodman, nothing but the bottom of the net. He's got 5, and he locked in with radar and a quick 30-second timeout for New Trier. They make it a 5-point ball game at 60-55. For the latest in information on all sports, not just basketball, boys and girls basketball, head to www.ihsa.org. You can get the latest information on all the state championships. You can also go right there to marchmadness.org, America's original March Madness here in Illinois, and find all sorts of information. You can find all sorts of box scores all the way back to 1908 on the website. All sorts of the latest information is just a click away at www.ihsa.org. It's the same information source the TV crew uses here at the state tournament. Well, last basketball of the game, and for some of those ladies, some of their last games as well, as we take a look at this replay of the silky three from Goodman.
You know, he has such an unusual shot, only in the aspect of the arc that he uses.
Just a brief listen in on Rick Malnati's huddle at the Trevian bench, and the Centralia Orphan faithful are in full voice here tonight. Rick Malnati, I wonder if he ever thought when he was wearing those short little shorts playing for Bradley that he'd ever bring a basketball team of his own here to the city to play for the state championship.
You can truly tell the era of play by the length of the short.
And the hair as well. We all had a lot more of it back then, didn't we, Bill?
I'm follically challenged. Nice entry pass.
Matt Shaw now with 22 points. Right now it's the Markham and Shaw show. James Romey coming in. He may have pulled up a little bit. He may have strained a quad a moment ago. Here's Nikitas pulling up, but the shot is short, and Shaw with the rebound. 7 points. Centralia lead in the Orphans with the basketball. Quickly down to Edson, who launches a three that's around and up. Offensive board, Shaw. Make that, I'm sorry, Smith got it back, and he drew a foul. That would may go on. Nope, it's Ted Rosinski.
They
got his third.
Yeah, Centralia pushed the ball up real nicely. Got a three, and again, fatigue a little bit. Instead of fighting for position inside, standing side by side with John Smith, but you give up too many inches.
The legs just aren't there. Free throw for Smith is good. He's now got 8.
A couple things coaches look at in a ball game is when a shooter's shots start to be short, you think that there's some fatigue, and we've seen a lot of short shots here. Now, to their credit, they've put a lot of shots in the basket as well from the perimeter.
Smith hits the second free throw, give him 9 for the ball game as mom and dad cheering him on from the stands. A 9-point lead now. Biggest lead in this ball game for Centralia has been 11. Down low with it is Romey. On the wing, Brett Sortel for 3. Rims out. Rosinski, the offensive board. Short on the shot, and the rebound, John Smith of Centralia.
Nice ball movement, and again, the big guys there, their presence really alter the shot.
A technical foul has been called on New Trier coach Rick Malnati. He had been warned back in the first half. Boy, there's something you don't see every day in a consolation game.
No. No.
He's right in front of us, and he was just telling the official that he didn't quite understand exactly what I was trying to communicate. Or, as to quote the boss in Cool Hand Luke, what they had there was definitely a failure to communicate.
You know, there are occasions where a coach will want a technical foul, and you expect them and generally deserve them. And then there are times you get them and you really don't know if that's what you really wanted to do or wanted to say. And I think Rick is feeling like he was talking more about his team.
Matt Shaw with 24 points as Malnati continues to shake his head in disbelief at getting slapped with a technical foul. That gives him an 11-point lead. You know, I've seen coaches strategically try to get those technical fouls. You've seen them work, and you've seen them absolutely backfire.
Well, I think at this point of the game, the last thing he wanted to do was give them 2 free throws in the ball.
Yeah, right now, Centralia clearly with momentum in this game. Here's Lance Markham. The double pumper, no, and the rebound to Duda of New Trier. Here comes Sortel bringing it up court. On the wing, Rosinski for 3, spins out. Offensive rebound, put up, no good by Duda. Tip up, no. And Shaw got the rebound, and Duda got the reach-in foul.
3 nice attempts at the basket, and just can't get it to go down.
5:11 remaining, and Centralia matching its biggest lead of the game at 66-55, and a chance now to add to that lead is Matt Shaw. 16 of his 24 points have come in the second half in this game. You know, championships, a couple of second place, a third and a fourth, looking for their first hardware since 1963. The save inbounds right to the hands of Bob Anderson, and he put it up and in. The big guy getting his first two. A 19-17 lead for Centralia. Ryan Dinkelman picks up on the dribble and trying to get it down to Shaw, denied by Goodman. And New Trier on a break. Inside, shot goes up. Brett Sortle, the 6'1 junior, getting his first two, and we got a tie game.
Nice hesitation dribble and a little head fake there. Went strong to the basket.
We're in second quarter action. In the battle for third place in the AA Boys State Basketball Tournament. Dinkelman bounces it back out front to Jason Palmer. Down low to Shaw. Nice inside move. Wow, pretty move.
You know, when he's backing up like that, what he's doing, he's leaning to his right, his left. He's getting the defensive person to commit himself. When he feels that contact, he spins quickly back to the basket in the other direction.
Bob Anderson looks for a pass. He was looking for Goodman. Stolen away by Shaw of Centralia. And now Jason Palmer. Like his brother Jamal, really a defensive specialist off the bench. Edson gets it down low, contact inside, no call, and Shaw gets the bucket. Matt Shaw with 6. Centralia up by 4. Brett Sortle, from a tradition-rich basketball family in IHSA history. Now in the corner, we got a kick ball, and we'll put it back inbounds. Coming in now for New Trier, Dan Larkin along with Terry Coughlin and Nick Nikitas checking back in, and also quickly off the bench Mike Duda.
Now, Tom, both Rick Moss and Rick Malnati use their bench real well. They go to their bench quite a bit normally, and I think we're just going to see a lot of substitutions during the course of the game, trying to keep the legs fresh.
Nikitas into Larkin, and he banks it in. 4 for Dan Larkin, and it's a 2-point game now. But quickly, Lance Markham. Again, he has hit his 5th three-pointer of the first half. He's got 15, and it's a 5-point Centralia lead.
You know, he's just going up and not even thinking much about it.
And a 3-point answer by James Romy. He came into this tournament a 48% shooter from outside the arc. This game a little more wide open right now than I was figuring to see. Top of the key. Markham another 3. He's got 18 on 6 trays. Somebody call the Peoria Fire Department. He's absolutely on fire. Nikitas down inside. He lays it up and in.
Nice move to the basket.
Have we suddenly picked up on an NBA game here?
Yeah, might have. You know, on that drive there, that was a great little move. He gave an up fake to John Smith, got him up on his toes, went around him, and changed the ball over to his right hand for that layup.
It's like an NBA exhibition game. You score, no, you score, you score, no, you score. Back and forth they go. 3 points Centralia lead halfway through the second quarter. Markham gets it out to Caleb Edson. Takes it down low. Kicks it back out to Smith. Now Dinkelman for 3. Rim short. And the rebound to Trier's Dan Larkin. And Terry Coughlin will bring it into the front court for the Trevians. Trevians trailing by 3. James Romy trying to get it out, and a little hold foul called on Dinkelman. We have a timeout on the floor, 29-26 Centralia. Now this from your network sponsors.
Are you gonna make that call?
When you call Country Insurance and Financial Services, the unexpected will happen.
Hello, thank you for calling Country.
Hello? Who's this?
You'll actually talk to a real
I
person.
didn't think you'd answer as quickly.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
This is my country.
Radco Supply Corporation and Owens Corning, makers of vinyl siding and shingles, are proud to be sponsors of this year's Illinois High School Association State Basketball Tournament, the home of America's original March Madness, and they wish the best of luck to New Trier and Centralia. Let's go down to Lee Hall.
Hey, Tom, I'm with the Marion Band. Sorry if I'm yelling, but jamming from Ozzy Osbourne. They said if I practice tomorrow, I can plug in. Back to you.
Eric Clapton. Oh, look at this. Holy smokes. I'm back in Memphis. I'm back in Memphis. Shaking all over. It's Lee Hall. Don't. And who says don't be cruel? The problem is he wears the wig a lot more often than you know, folks.
And the glasses.
Hey, now, hey, don't make fun of those. I got a pair of those, too. Thank you very much. 3:18 remaining in the first half. Coughlin kicks it out of wing to James Romey. Romey shooting the 18-footer that won't go. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Shaw. New Trier keeps the basketball. Rosinski and Sortel about to come back in for the Trevians. 3:07 to go in the first half. Centralia in this game for third place right now with a 3-point edge. They get it in the lane. Nikita fakes, but great job by Shaw just keeping his feet.
You know, Matt Shaw had 4 block shots in the earlier semifinal game. He's got at least 2 or 3 right here. He's just got great timing.
Coughlin didn't have an open man to find, and hey, they have to burn a timeout. So New Trier will take a quick 30-second timeout. Take a look at the history in this tournament for the Trevians of New Trier. Their 16th appearance in the finals, the first all the way back in 1913. Have not won a championship. They're looking for their second third place championship. And they also picked up a 4th place in 1996. The 2nd place back in 1973 at the Assembly Hall. That year they ran into Ricky Green and Chicago Hirsch. And what a ball club that was, coached by Charles Stimson. You remember it like it was yesterday, and it unfortunately didn't feel like it was yesterday. Common opponents, just one for the two teams. Chicago Julian. New Trier lost by 11, and Centralia defeated them 81-54. Centralia comes up with the ball. Anthony Jones, as we're under 3 minutes for the opening quarter. Jones into the corner to Markham. Markham playing his last game for that fabled Centralia program, and a hack foul called on Terry Coughlin. It's going to be a 1 and bonus. They give the foul to Larkin instead. It's 2:48 remaining now, and it'll be Matt Shaw, who Rick Moss has called one of the best sophomores in the state. And he has put on a show in this tournament, and he'll be one of the building blocks for the Centralia team of 2002-2003.
Yeah, he's played very well throughout the tournament, and right there, Dan Larkin picked up the foul because Matt was making him work so hard trying to establish position down on the block.
He makes both free throws. He's got 8. Romey comes in. Nikitas goes out. Sortel goes out. Coughlin goes out. They also bring Josh Goodman back in. Wholesale substitutions for New Trier is Rosinski. In the backcourt, Goodman. Nice job breaking the pressure into the front court by Lewis Powell. Their shot caroms out of bounds. And it'll be New Trier ball. You want to be a cameraman? Look out, incoming. And a turnover as New Trier turns it over to Centralia. Turnovers right now in the ball game, 7 for Centralia and 6 for New Trier. Watch it, coming right into your living room.
I think Rick Malnati just trying to do something to up the tempo a little bit. Came out that time in a full court zone press. Centralia broke it easily.
Anthony Jones. Turnovers haven't produced a lot of points for either team. Each team with just 2 points off turnover so far as Jones curls to the baseline, runs into Rosinski, and stolen by Larkin. Releasing his Powell, and he walked with the basketball. .214 remaining. The new trip bench said he never really had possession of the ball, so he couldn't travel.
You know, again, those are those real quick plays. You're going to make a call. Hopefully you get it right. That time he might have not ever had possession of it.
And I got to think, as many decisions as the guys in black and white have to make as Markham is fouled by foul, that sometimes what goes through a referee's mind is that just didn't look right. I'm not sure it was a foul, but it just didn't look right, so I'm going to blow the whistle.
Right.
That's the human element in the game. That's as much a part of the game as hitting free throws or blocking out on the boards.
You know, every once in a while in a locker room, that'll become the focus of conversation. And my words to my assistant coaches and my players was always very clear. When we coach a perfect game, when we play a perfect game, we'll expect a perfect game from officials.
Lance Markham's mom and dad looking on. That's the first time Markham's put a ball through the hoop that didn't count for 3 points. He's got 19 already. Lance Markham has come up with many big plays this year for the Centralia Ball Club, and Rosinski, likewise for New Trier, came up with a rebound, and right now it's a 3-point lead for Centralia. Josh Goodman. And he handed it right off to Anthony Jones. Jones didn't quite have the advantage on Sortle. He brings it back outside. And a holding foul as Markham tried to advance the ball, and he'll go to the free throw line with the foul going to Josh Goodman.
It looks like New Trier just a step slow getting to their spots, just a little step slow getting the ball up the court. I think Rick would like to see the rebounds and then push the ball a little bit more.
Markham isn't as accurate from the free throw line as he is from 19+ feet away outside the arc. A minute and a half to go, and it's a 6-point lead for Centralia, 32-26. Driving is James Romey. Blocked by Shaw, but he got Shaw airborne, and Shaw is going to get the foul.
That was a nice drive to the basket by Romey, and probably the mistake Shaw made was not necessarily going up to contest the shot, but bringing his arm down. You know, you make contact on the ball and bring your arm down, there's a tendency to hit an arm.
Romey now with 6. He's seeing a little more individual one-on-one plays in this game than you might have seen perhaps in a semifinal game.
You know, I think from New Trier you are. You know, what happens is you start to get fatigued, and then mentally you take an easy way out. Instead of making the extra pass, making the extra screen, just it's easier to dribble the ball.
Romey now with 7. Caleb Edson has just checked in. He replaces Jason Palmer. Centralia's lead now 4. Anthony Jones. He won't have to worry about playing time next year. 4 seniors who are starting will be graduated, and he'll be one of the leaders. A hand check foul called on Brett Sortle. Folks might think that they may be calling it a little tight for a third-place game. You got to approach every game just like it was the first game of the year.
You know, both Rick Malnati and Rick Moss are really good teachers of the game. And
John Smith rescues the stuck basketball.
One of the things you teach your players is how to adjust officiating. So if they're going to call hand checks on the dribbler, they need to make those adjustments.
And Anthony Jones, it's the free throw with a proud mom looking onward. 33-28 down on the baseline. Larkin kicks it out top of the key. James Romey can't hit it from there. Kept alive by Brett Sortle. The jumper rimming long. He had a hand in his face there from Shaw, and Shaw then comes up with a rebound. Under 40 seconds for the first half. Centralia 5-point lead. Anthony Jones draws a double team, picked up his dribble. He's in trouble, and he called the timeout.
That's good defense. They just got Jones to have to pick up the dribble and then gave him no outlets.
stops the clock with just under 27 seconds in the first half. And Rick Moss, who has coached at Highland, St. Paul, Vandalia. Some would argue you're looking for up-to-date information not on just March Madness but all the Illinois High School Association sports. You can check out IHSA.com or ihigh.com. You can find a lot of information. I was watching from the hotel earlier this afternoon, live video streaming on my computer, and it was outstanding. Meaning you can watch the video of this telecast anywhere in the world through the internet right there, www.ihsa.org or ihigh.com. Technology, it's amazing.
You know, for us old guys, it's a learning situation.
He still has an abacus, folks, on his desk.
You know, when I have any questions about how to use my computer, I ask my 10-year-old Christian or my 14-year-old Ellison, and they help me right away.
And the response is usually something like, "Oh, Dad."
Exactly.
You should know better than that. 13 seconds. Centralia with a 5-point lead, looking for the last shot of the half. Markham takes it all the way and draws the foul as the shot rims off.
That play was made by a real great high screen by John Smith. He just got big and wide, and Markham was able to come off of it and get a little lane to the basket.
Anderson picked up his second foul. Markham just 1 of 3 at the free throw line, and he makes that one perfectly. Double checking, yeah, 20 points now in the ball game for Lance Markham. As you see, coming in now, Blake Friels, and heading out is Matt Shaw to get a breather. Also, Caleb Edson heading out for Centralia. Markham second, cleanly into the net. 21 points for the 6'2 senior. 6 seconds to go. And the whistle stops play and knocked out of bounds, and Nutria will have still one last shot with 5.6 seconds remaining.
The ball went out of bounds, and Coach Moss picked it up and got it inbound to one of his players real quickly, hoping the officials didn't see it.
What a sixth man. Rosinski hitting a three. And that ends the first half. Rosinski netting the tray. And it makes it a 4-point ball game at the half. Centralia with a 35-31 lead in the battle for third place. Let's go over now to Lee Hall.
All right, thanks a lot. We're with Rick Moss. Just what you don't want to see happen there at the end of the half. They knock in a three and make this a 4-point game.
Well, we haven't played very good defense here this half, so we're going to have to pick it up defensively. We've been known being a good defensive team. We've given up way too many points.
Yeah, pretty quick tempo for the first half, you think?
Too quick for us. I know if the kids are half as tired as I am, it's way too quick, but we'll bounce back because nobody wants to lose the last game.
You made a great play there on the sideline. Great hands. You almost got it back in there and nobody saw it.
Well, I was trying. I used to be quicker than that.
Good luck second half, Coach. All right, that's Rick Moss of Centralia. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Lee. Halftime here at Carver Arena with Centralia leading 35-31. Let's take time out to hear now from one of your network sponsors.
This is my country. These are my people. This is the world I understand.
It's not just talking about service. It's really knowing the people we serve.
I know them like the back of my own hand.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
Shootout here, sponsored by a local bank. Whoever makes the longest shot, it's about $250. We're going to talk about the championship game tonight, and we've got with us from the Chicago Tribune Mr. Barry Temkin, who I'm sure you've seen his column on high school basketball. Upcoming game, it's a rematch of the Pekin Championship game, the holiday tournament. Westinghouse lost that to Lanphier. How do you see tonight's game? It looks like Westinghouse is playing a lot better than they did at Christmas time.
Westinghouse lost by 6 last time, but I think it'll be different tonight. Westinghouse is so quick, so well coached, so well disciplined, and they have the edge in that this time it's Lanphier that played the late semifinal and had less rest, and I think fatigue could be a huge factor.
Yeah, Lanphier's had a little bit of trouble finishing the last week or so.
Yeah, their legs may be a little tired tonight.
Yeah. Tell me about Chris Head and the job he's done bringing this team down here, and we've seen very talented Chicago Public League teams come to Champaign and to Peoria and not succeed. He's come down here with a very business-like attitude and let these kids know that these are the most important games of their season, not winning the Public League Championship.
Chris has talked about that, how it's important to come down focused, take it a game at a time. He said, we've got a plan how to win this. He's just worrying about every little detail, being on time for everything, being organized, making sure his kids play to their potential.
All right, and now just counterpoint, just like 60 Minutes. Thank you, Barry. Mark Potash of the Chicago Sun-Times. Your thoughts going into this ball game tonight? A couple of very talented teams going in there.
I think Lanphier has the edge because they play Westinghouse's game, but they have the 2 best players on the floor. If they play up to their capabilities, I think they're going to win. But Westinghouse, you can't underestimate them because they play a great team game. The last 3 years, the best player in the tournament has not won. Leon Smith, Darius Miles, Eddie Curry. However, when you see these guys play like they did to this afternoon, it just seems like they have the edge.
Right, one knock you'll hear sometimes against public league teams. They don't play as a team. They're not disciplined. This Westinghouse team is the exact, I mean, forget that. I mean, they are very disciplined. They play like a team, and Chris Head has, I think, done a fantastic job.
Yeah, I think that knock is long gone. I think Chris Head has his team primed to do it. They have the experience from 2 years ago. A lot of those guys have learned from that experience. I think they're going to give their best effort. This is the best shot in a long time for Westinghouse to win the state title.
You look at Lanphier, Andre Iguodala, and that team, very athletic. They can do a lot of things on the floor. Last night in the win, he was the assist leader. I mean, it's a very balanced team.
Yeah, they're overwhelming. It's going to be a big test for Westinghouse. I think the big key for them, for Westinghouse, is Jamarcus Ellis. He's a sophomore who kind of played like a sophomore the last time they played. Westinghouse feels like he's a lot better now than he was then. He can add the athleticism that can match those guys or at least counter them a little bit.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Potash, Mr. Temkin. We appreciate it. We'll look forward to reading your accounts tomorrow in the newspaper, and you can also catch it online. If you go to IHSA.org and click on the fun stuff, you can go right to the Tribune and the Sun-Times and several other papers here in the state of Illinois. We're at halftime of the third place game. Centralia with the lead. Back after this local break. Welcome back to Carver Arena. You can see all these young men, and yeah, it's all young men out here in bright tie-dye t-shirts. It's the SEPQ Rainbow Shot. Folks here in Central Illinois know SEPQ. It's Central, what is it now? Construction Equipment Federal Credit Union, Sue Yoder.
We just call it SEPQ.
Right. What are you doing here tonight? I know it's the longest shot wins. What do they get?
The winner gets $500, and they share that $500 with their school. So if it's an adult, we got a couple adults, we got some youngsters, they get $250, and their school gets $250.
This is new this year, and the crowd really gets into it.
Last year we had a lot of fun planning this, and last Saturday a little guy, 7th grader, won it for Lincoln Grade School. We had a lot of fun, so we're having a ball with March Madness, and every hour new kid qualifies, and they all come here tonight to play for the final $500 rainbow shot.
All right, thanks a lot, Sue Yoder of SEPCU.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Congratulations to our winner. He's right there. He made the longest shot. We will be back at Carver Arena for a continuation of the third place game. First, let's go courtside to Tom Stocker and Bill Hitt. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Lee. At halftime here right now, a 35-31 lead for Centralia. And Bill, it's really been a two-man attack for Centralia as right now Lance Markham and Matt Shaw have combined for all but 3 of Centralia's 35 points.
Yeah, Markham is killing them from the outside and Matt Shaw from the inside.
Take a look at the numbers on the first half. You take a look, Centralia 10 of 18 from the field, while New Trier 11 of 27. They are shot 41%, while Centralia shot 56%. Rebounds, New Trier with the edge.
Yeah, you know, that's a little deceptive because many of those are defensive rebounds. I think the real story right now is Lance Markham 6 for 6 on 3-point shots.
And take a look, the turnovers are dead even. 4 block shots inside for Centralia. Steals are even, and New Trier wound up getting 11 fouls whistled on them. The individual scoring, again, there's 32 of 35 points for Centralia, with Markham, as Bill mentioned, 6 of 6 from outside the arc. Meanwhile, Rosinski leading New Trier with 8, followed by Romy with 7 and Nick Nikitas with 4. It's the battle for third place. One more half of basketball left in the seasons for both of these two teams. We'll be back with that after we hear from your local station. Carver Arena, Centralia leading as we're getting ready for the third quarter. Let's go over now to Lee Hall.
All right, Tom, thanks a lot. We're with Rick Malnati. I loved him as a Bradley Brave. Coach, they got to get scrappy like Rick Malnati did over at the Fieldhouse.
It's a tough game to play. You know, any high school kid, you know, would love to be in this game, but when you're here, it's pretty hard emotionally to get back up and play. So we're trying to have a little fun in the same way, you know, in the context of trying to play hard, play aggressive. And at times it was good, and at times it was pretty ugly. But we just got to stop number 4. I think he's got about 30 points right now, and I'm hoping my kids do a little bit better job in the second half.
What would Coach Sheets have told these guys?
I don't know what Coach...
Can you repeat it?
I don't know what he would have said by now, but, you know, we're just going to try and finish out the season strong. It'd be nice to win the last game. So I think our seniors have a lot of pride, and I'm sure Centralia does. So it'll be an interesting second half.
Great job either way, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Always good to see Rick Malnati back in Peoria. Tom, back to you.
Those highlights, by the way, weren't highlights from this game. That was Rick Malnati, Bradley Brave style, over at the Fieldhouse, wearing number 21. Take a look at action from this game. Ted Rosinski getting the offensive rebound and getting 2 of his 8 points in the first half. And Rosinski came back. He struggled offensively in the semifinal game, showing the nice touch from the outside. And then James Romy with a nice turnaround J from 18 feet away. He had 7 in the first half. Now for Centralia, Matt Shaw. Nice little finger roll, laying it up and in. Now, one of the 6 3-pointers for Lance Markham. 6 of 6 outside the arc. Matt Shaw. Look at this nice pivot move.
That's exactly how you would teach it in a clinic. And you got Lance Markham drilling another one from the top of the circle.
16 minutes left in the seasons for both of these two teams. Centralia leading by 4. We'll hear now from our network sponsors.
Are you going to make that call?
When you call Country Insurance and Financial Services, the unexpected will happen.
Hello, thank you for calling Country.
Hello? Who's this?
You'll actually talk to a real
I
person.
didn't think you'd answer as quickly.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
This is my country.
All right, here we go. Third quarter about to start. Tom Stalker, Bill Hitt back with you at Carver Arena. The battle for third